game one where the Rockets were favored. Well, of course, okay, so Durant, but I wonder how much the line moved when it was announced that.
I was going to ask, I don't know what the line did after Durant was ruled out. Durant went through a pregame workout. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 hours before tip, and basically like, I can't move right now the way I need to move. I can't play. And Ime Udoka says he hopes it's a 1-game thing. He took a shot to the knee during practice this week, and fellas, let me tell you, I'm gonna
Jackson
play
says the line
basketball.
went from Rockets by 5.5 to Rockets by 2.5.
Huh. All I know is this: I'm gonna play pickup basketball tomorrow. The offense there will look better than the Rockets' offense without Kevin Durant on the court.
I'm gonna say there's a couple of things about that. So first off, let me just say, the Lakers, if they have any serious interest or ability in winning that series, had to win game one. Had to. Because they're home and Durant is out. And the imbalance that happens with not having Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves rebalances when you don't have Durant with that team. No Fred VanVleet and Durant. I know VanVleet hasn't been there all year, but you could argue
Steven Adams, if you want to throw that in.
You could argue that it's way more balanced when you toss in no VanVleet. Now, there's a couple of things about this game that were wild. Number one, and I haven't seen any history on this, but the Rockets took 27 more shots than the Lakers.
That's insane.
27 more shots. Now, you may say, oh, maybe the Lakers had like 15 more free throws. No, sir. Free throws were even, 26-25.
So from John Schumann, because I have another John Schumann stat, John Schumann from NBA.com, or pal, the Rockets got 27 more shot opportunities than the Lakers. He's including free field goal attempts and trips to the line, I guess, for that. That was the 4th biggest differential in any game across the league this season, and the biggest for any team that lost.
I mean, just right there, just that differential right there, because when you talk about...
There's also a companion stat that goes with that.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you. How do you get 27? The offensive rebounding in this game. I assume that's what you're talking about, Bontemps?
I was talking about the other reason why the Lakers won the game, but we can get to that in a minute.
The offensive rebounding was 21-3 in favor of the Rockets. This is an unheard of spread to lose a game. And by the way,
there were a lot of offensive rebound opportunities for the Rockets.
Yes, there were.
Well, that's true. But that's their game. Their game is to get offensive rebound opportunities.
And I think they're going to continue to get offensive rebound opportunities. Might not be plus 18, but they're probably going to be plus quite a bit every game.
Well, it was I think JJ Redick described it as a simplistic game plan, which I think is what they needed. DeAndre Ayton played, here's the thing. DeAndre Ayton cannot, we talked earlier about how Wendell Carter cannot outplay Jalen Duren.
Yeah. And
you have any chance? DeAndre Ayton cannot equalize. Actually, it wasn't even equalized because Şengün was 6 of 19.
Yeah, Ayton was 8 of 10. Ayton had 19 and 11. Şengün had 19, 8, and 6. But Ayton was
6 for 19 from the field.
Ayton was a bigger factor in this game.
I mean, a center shooting under 33% from the field is hard to do. The other stat from John Schumann was that among the 8 teams to play Saturday night, or I guess during the day Saturday, the Lakers had the lowest expected field goal percentage and the highest actual field goal percentage.
You didn't think Luke Kennard taking guys off the dribble, it was going to continue?
Well, the Lakers going 10 for 19, and I would emphasize the 19 from 3 in the game. Like, the Lakers winning a game where they only took 19 threes, I would not have bet either.
How about the Rockets making more threes than their opponent, which happened in this game, 11-10, and losing? It's unheard of.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of math in this game. That if you just look at the math would tell you this has to come back in Houston's favor, even if Durant is not around, because the math is so compounding in Houston's favor. However, anyone who watched that game, to Tim's point, and watched that Houston offense, I don't think could sit here and be like, oh, man, the math is going to come around for the Rockets. It's going to be great. Like, maybe it will, but I've got to see the math actually work after watching that, because that was impossible to watch.
They don't have a calculator. They're counting with rocks, and that's what they're throwing at the freaking rim.
They're stacking the rocks.
Well,
up.
you know what I was thinking about, and I know that I think Luke Kennard hit 5 threes. I think LeBron assisted on 3 of them,
probably at least.
He might have had 2 assists and then 2 hockey assists to him. But I was just thinking back to all of the players that I have watched LeBron in the playoffs with have a 5 3-pointer, 4 or 5 3-point, because back in the 2000s, if you made 4 threes, it was like 6 threes in today's game. And I'm thinking like Damon Jones, Daniel Gibson,
Kyle Korver, who I saw on Saturday night.
Wally I'm going through the chronological in my head.
Yeah.
Wally Zerbiak. I don't think Norris Cole ever made 4, but
Norris
Cole had some.
He's really in his
Mario Chalmers, Mike Miller, Shane Battier,
Ray Allen,
Matthew I'm not talking about Hall of Famers. I'm talking about guys. Sure. Matthew Dellavedova, J.R. Smith, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, Kyle Kuzma. Like, you're not going to win a series like having LeBron and a couple of shooters that are playing off each other, but you can win some playoff games that way. And that's what they did. I've been watching LeBron win games like that since high school. Now, maybe not where they got outshot by 27 attempts, but where LeBron just spreads the floor, and he had 8 assists in the first quarter of this game.
I thought he was going to have 30 at one point.
I think he had 3 assists to Kennard in the first quarter alone.
I mean, he's been around forever. He knew the opportunity that was there, and you could see like he was posting up. He was aggressive right off the bat, got them out to a good start. Like, he knew they had to win that game to have a chance in the series.
He was very locked in. You see they caught him. It was with the eyes, the
demon pose.
Is that what it's called? The demon pose?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
The famous internet meme from his Miami days.
Well, I'll never, Pat Riley blew that, the Hall of Champions. That's not the Champions Walk or whatever. The hallway from the court to the locker room in Miami. It's got wall size, 8, longer than that, 10 feet high. For years, right as you walked off the court, there were 2 gigantic things on the wall in the Champions hallway there in Miami. One was Udonis Haslem with blood pouring out of his face, dripping down his chin, and the other was LeBron in the demon pose. Like that was that's the epitome of Heat basketball.
Heat culture, baby.
Yeah. So they were, LeBron was definitely locked in, and look, they had to win that game, and they did. And so now, I'm here in LA. I'll go to the game on Tuesday and see how the Rockets bounce back in that one.
Well, see if Durant plays, and I mean, the other thing that was interesting to me was I was surprised that Amen Thompson basically didn't guard LeBron. I thought he'd be on.
Well, they started a Koji to Garden.
Well, I understand that, but I would have put my best defensive player on LeBron and just try to take LeBron out of the game.
I also thought it was interesting they started a Koji instead of Tari Eason, who actually played well off the bench.
Tari Eason, I mean, as long as you're talking about things that are not going to repeat themselves, Tari Eason went 7 of 7.
And the rest of the team went like 7 of 90.
It's actually crazy. You also figure, Reed Shepherd goes 6 of 20. Not all of the shots obviously were good shots, and it was his first playoff game was on the road. You're not expecting him to dominate, but you're also figuring Reed Shepherd, if he gets 20 shots, is not going to go 6 of 20.
Reed Shepherd also had 8 assists and got in the lane a bunch of times for wide open threes for guys that were nowhere close either.
I'm still trying to figure out, and a lot of people I talked to around the league are trying to figure out exactly what Reed Shepherd is, who Reed Shepherd is. I don't think you're going to draw any grand conclusions based off a second-year player playing in his first playoffs, but they need him to be pretty good this postseason.
I'll tell you what, if Reed Shepherd was playing with LeBron, who knows what would happen.
We talked about the pressure on Detroit. there's a hell of a lot of pressure on the Rockets to win this series, and they better win this series. I think regardless, frankly, of whether Durant comes back or not, they're still, to me, the more talented team. If there's no Austin Reeves and no Luka Doncic, like I don't think there's going to be. Obviously, if one of them comes back or they both come back, it's a different story. And we spent this whole time talking about how bad Houston's offense looks. That's been a problem all season. If they lose this series and the offense continues to look anywhere near as bad as it did in game one, there's going to be a lot of questions about the Rockets this summer. So, that Detroit series and the Houston series, a couple pretty massive game twos.